Nighthawk, deceased. Real name, Kyle Richmond. Occupation, former president of Richmond Enterprises, adventurer. Identity, publicly known. Legal status, American citizen with no criminal record. Other aliases, none. Place of birth, Mamaroneck, New York. Place of death, somewhere in the Colorado Rocky Mountains. Group affiliation, former member of the Squadron Sinister and the Defenders. First appearance, Avengers number 71. Final appearance, Defenders number 106. History. Kyle Richmond was the son of Arthur and Penelope Richmond, a wealthy industrialist, and his wife. Upon his mother's death when he was still a child, Richmond was sent to a private school to be raised. His father was too busy with his business to take charge of him. By his teens, Richmond was known as a spoiled, irresponsible troublemaker. Despite his poor academic record, he was accepted into a private college, Greyburn University, entirely due to his father's generous endowment to the school. Kyle Richmond still largely ignored his studies and spent most of his time with his girlfriend, Mindy Williams. One night, while driving his car under the influence of alcohol, Richmond lost control and drove off the road. The accident left Mindy almost dead, but he walked away unscathed. Richmond was soon expelled from college. Shaken by the tragic consequences of his irresponsibility, Richmond was glad when he was drafted into the army and hoped that he would die in action. However, during his physical examination, a heart murmur was detected and he was rejected from service. On the same day, his father died in an airplane crash, and Kyle found himself in charge of Richmond Enterprises. Wisely believing himself to be incapable of handling the business, Richmond turned over the management of the firm to the company's chairman of the board, J.C. Pennyworth. He then divided his time between the life of leisure of the idle rich and a search for a chemical cure for his heart ailment. Richmond soon discovered a mysterious book which contained alchemical formulae, among which was a formula to increase physical strength. Concocting the formula in a makeshift laboratory in his mansion, Richmond drank it and learned that it did confer upon him heightened strength, but only at night. Richmond was then contacted by the Grandmaster, the cosmic gamesman, who had arranged for him to find the book. See, Grandmaster. The Grandmaster wished to use Richmond as a superhuman pawn against his opponent, Kang, and to that end recruited 3 human beings and an alien and transformed them into duplicates of 4 champions of an alternate Earth the Grandmaster once encountered. See, Squadron Supreme. Given the name and costume of Nighthawk, Richmond was pitted against Captain America in a battle over the Statue of Liberty. Nighthawk lost, but escaped imprisonment when Captain America was teleported away for yet another contest. Richmond and his cohorts in the Squadron Sinister, Hyperion, Whizzer, and Dr. Spectrum went their separate ways. Nighthawk decided to use his powers for kicks and tried to make a quick reputation for himself by battling Daredevil. When this ploy failed, Richmond retired his Nighthawk identity for a while. Some time later, Richmond was unwillingly reunited with the squadron when Hyperion volunteered the group to assist the alien Nebulon, see Nebulon, in his plan to melt Earth's ice caps. Acting responsibly for the first time in his life, Richmond fled to try to warn the Avengers of what was happening. Unable to reach them, he instead contacted the Defenders. Assisting the Defenders, Nighthawk was struck by radiation from Nebulon's laser cannon and was on the brink of death. Dr. Strange performed an elaborate spell to mystically resuscitate his life force by drawing upon the collective life force of the Defenders. When Nighthawk revived, he asked to join the Defenders, but was told the group was not an official team. Nevertheless, he began to associate with members of the loose-knit group on a regular basis. Richmond reveled in the sense of life and purpose that his association with the Defenders afforded him, and converted his private riding academy into their acting headquarters. He later used his financial resources to develop for himself powerful jetpack and wing apparatus to enable him to fly. With the increasingly long absences of Dr. Strange, Nighthawk became de facto leader of the group. He remained active with the team until agents of the Internal Revenue Service, investigating tax fraud, brought forth an injunction to prevent him from donning his costume until the charges were cleared. Richmond eventually beat the charges. Months later, when the Defenders were under siege by the demonic Six-Fingered Hand, the mystic link that Dr. Strange created to save Nighthawk's life after the Nebulon encounter was severed. This left Kyle Richmond paralyzed, except at night when he regained full mobility. He stoically accepted his infirmity and reduced his involvement in Defenders' activities accordingly. Returning to the college he once attended, Richmond discovered that his former girlfriend, Mindy Williams, had not died in the car crash he caused, but was severely crippled. Insane with bitterness and possessing certain psionic powers, Mindy tried to kill the man she blamed for her condition. Nighthawk managed to survive the attack with the help of Spider-Man. This encounter led Nighthawk to a secret project in Colorado run by a super patriot named August Masters, who planned to launch a psychic assault on the Soviet Union, employing the minds of unwilling telepaths as weapons. Mindy Williams was one of these telepaths. With the Defenders taken captive, Richmond established a mental link with his former girlfriend and contacted Dr. Strange to bring reinforcements. When the resources of the reinforcements were also taxed to the limit, the subconscious minds of the six psychics took control of Kyle Richmond's mind, conferring upon it their collective power. Through Richmond, they activated the destruct sequence on the main computer power system of the whole secret complex. Apparently under his own free will, Richmond ordered Dr. Strange to evacuate the other Defenders from the installation, while he remained behind as a physical focal point for the minds of the psychics. When the secret complex exploded, Kyle Richmond, the six telepaths, August Masters, and his private army were all inside. Possessed as he was by the six psychics, it is not clear if Kyle Richmond purposely sacrificed himself so that a nation could live, or if he was a pawn of the six psychics. Perhaps fittingly, he died as Kyle Richmond rather than as Nighthawk. Height, 5 feet 11 inches. Weight, 180 pounds. Eyes, brown. Hair, red-brown. Powers. Nighthawk possessed superhuman strength and endurance whenever the earth blocked from his body the direct rays of the sun. During the day, he could lift, press, about 200 pounds. At night, he could lift, press, about 10 times that, or 1 ton. The alchemical serum, which provided him supernatural strength, also increased his endurance to at least 5 times that of an Olympic athlete when away from direct sunlight. His practical reaction time was approximately half that of an average human being. Up until his paralysis, Nighthawk maintained a rigorous daily physical exercise regimen designed to keep his strength, both natural and supernatural, at their peaks. Nighthawk was only a moderately skilled hand-to-hand combatant. Paraphernalia. Nighthawk employed a jet-powered artificial wing system similar to, but not as miniaturized as, that used by the Falcon. See, Falcon. The maximum practical speed at which the jet engines could propel him and still allow him to breathe was about 120 miles per hour. The wing jets enabled him to carry enough fuel for 16 hours of continuous use. He could reach a maximum altitude of 30,000 feet, although he had difficulty breathing at heights over 24,000 feet.